In the months following the Dragonborn's ascension to the throne on the Palace of Kings in Windhelm, as the new High King of Skyrim, the nation teetered on the brink of stable peace and nascent conflict. This led to several political changes. While Jarls and Holds still existed, all of Skyrim, since the end of the Great War, had been under the White Gold Concordat. Formally, the Dragonborn unilaterally revoked the treaty, permanently nullifying its clauses in his territories. As a result, the worship of Talos returned to the people, justiciars of the Dominion could no longer operate freely, and any territorial and political concessions the Empire might demand from Skyrim were broken. The problem is that Skyrim always viewed this treaty as cultural betrayal. When the Dragonborn nullifies the Concordat, he sends 3 messages to the world. To the Empire, he makes clear, in an institutional way, Skyrim's independence and the treaty's inapplicability, meaning the Dragonborn no longer follows imperial orders. To the Thalmor, it signifies a warning that their influence over the Nords is ending, further straining their relations with the Aldmeri Dominion. To other nations, it symbolizes Skyrim as the first province to openly defy the Concordat since Hammerfell, becoming an international symbol of resistance. This completely changes the political balance of Tamriel. As soon as the royal decree is announced, the Thalmor activate their clandestine cells in Skyrim. These groups had been infiltrated for years, even before the events of the Civil War, and possessed spies within noble houses of Markarth, agents infiltrated in Riften's trade cartels, false priests of Talos linked to the Dominion, and messengers between Haafingar and Somerset. The attacks begin discreetly. Priests of Talos begin to die mysteriously in Falkreath. Solitude. And Whiterun. Silver caravans from Markarth begin to be intercepted. The Nordic economy depends on this silver, used for enchanted weapons and coins. Pamphlets begin to circulate claiming that the Dragonborn is compromising Skyrim to vampirism, a clear objective to destroy the royal structure from within and turn the people against Serana. However, High Queen Serana knows 4,000 years of mortal and Daedric wars. She immediately identified patterns in Thalmor action, especially the use of fear and cultural manipulation. She organizes the Order of Iceblood, a special force composed of Nordic warriors loyal to the Dragonborn, mages of Winterhold, vampires who respect her, and even pact-making dragons, Odaviing and Durnavier acting as scouts. This force combines espionage, strategic necromancy, and brute force when necessary. It is this order that conducts the first Thalmor Purge, locating and destroying 17 hideouts in the Reach, the Rift, and Haafingar. This period was known as the War in the Shadows, due to the almost secretive nature of the conflicts and the near-complete absence of public conflicts, with most of them being fought in caves, hideouts, and forts. Following this, Titus Mede II sends an extremely careful letter, using diplomatic language. In it, he states that the Empire does not desire conflict with Skyrim, but the unilateral dissolution of an international treaty jeopardizes the entire stability of Tamriel. The Empire is still recovering from the Great War and knows it cannot confront the Dominion again. The Dragonborn's action in revoking the treaty generated fear in the Empire, as Skyrim could be dragging them all into an inevitable war against the Thalmor. And still fearing an internal rupture, the Empire adopts the most cowardly and politically realistic stance. Skyrim is isolated, just as Hammerfell was in the past. And that's exactly what attracts the attention of the Red Guards. Hammerfell fought alone for years against the Dominion. They know exactly how Skyrim feels now. Leaders of Sentinel send secret emissaries to the Dragonborn's court, they cannot officially declare an alliance, because that would provoke the Empire. But they offer military supplies, strategic knowledge, and access to ports on the Abyss Sea. Hammerfell also sends specialists in anti-mage warfare, Redguard units famous for fighting Altmer using anti-enchantment tactics. The Thalmor changed tactics. They realized that espionage wasn't enough, that Serana's presence hinders covert operations, and that Skyrim still maintains internal popular support. Therefore, taking advantage of Skyrim's isolation from the Empire, the Dominion decides to declare war with a real, calculated, and strategic invasion. The Nords never imagined the Altmer would be foolish enough to attack by sea, but that's exactly what they did. Using light Bosmer ships and magic to aid navigation in the Sea of Ghosts, they landed on Dawnstar with the goal of conquering Winterhold and building a stable portal to allow troops to arrive directly from Somerset. Allied dragons make dive attacks, but suffer heavy damage from ice and lightning spells. Serana confronts an entire battalion using life-draining curses. The Dragonborn personally faces 3 hordes of Justiciars using the Stormcall shout. When the dust settles, Skyrim has won, but loses a considerable contingent. However, the Thalmor fail to open the portal. High Rock, divided into inner kingdoms, tries to remain neutral, as it always does. But to bypass the province and attack Skyrim, the Thalmor began neutralizing the border posts of Gehenna and Faerun. To avoid losing territory, Breton mages send clandestine support to Skyrim, containing everything from magical communication channels to mages specializing in counter magic. High Rock hasn't officially entered the war yet, but it's slowly being pushed into it, just like Hammerfell. The Dominion wants to force Skyrim to attack the Empire. So, unofficial Imperial attacks begin in the southern region, with villages burned, temples of Talos destroyed, and markings left to simulate Imperial forces. But Serana immediately sees through the tactic. It's the same one used by Lesser Daedra to manipulate factions. Thanks to this, the Dragonborn doesn't react, frustrating the Dominion. Having exhausted all attempts to weaken and defeat Skyrim, the Thalmor plan a massive attack on the Nords, attacking from various frontiers. Reports from allied Bretons indicate that more Bosmer ships are crossing their seas heading towards Skyrim again, in addition to Altmer troops landing at High Rock to attack Skyrim from the border with Markarth. Spies in Cyrodiil spot Thalmor troops crossing the province and heading north, protected by the legality of the White Gold Concordat, which grants the Altmer diplomatic rights to move freely through the Empire's lands without hindrance. The reality was clear. Skyrim would soon be attacked on multiple fronts, and it falls to the Dragonborn and Serana to protect their kingdom. They summon the last armies of loyal men and dragons to resist the invaders. Even criminal vampires have been incorporated into the army. All help was needed at that moment. The war for Skyrim, the chapter that would decide the future of the free peoples of Tamriel, was about to begin.